Hi, I'm Steph Lester and this is Altura Now. Thanks for joining us. Cleaning plays a vital role, especially when it comes to infection control. Altura Learning has produced the course Infection Control Cleaning, which covers the principles and procedures of best practice cleaning in care homes. One of our subject matter experts on the course is John Taylor, Leader of Innovation at CleanIQ. John, thanks for joining us.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
Can you tell us a little bit about your role?
Innovation, that's an interesting one because the cleaning industry is an absolutely huge industry. Okay, so my role is to keep up with the latest trends and techniques in cleaning, to train people with cleaning, and to look at all the different aspects, and particularly at the moment it's a vital part of everything with the problems we've got with the pandemic.
Okay, so you mentioned training. How important is training right now?
Absolutely vital. It is probably one of the most important aspects that we've got in cleaning. Cleaning is from personal hygiene right through to touchpoint cleaning, but training is the vital thing. They've got to know to do it in the first place.
You mentioned the virus. So how is COVID-19 impacting on cleaning in the care homes?
Look, it shouldn't. We should be doing best practice all the time, but it's just taken everything to another level. In a care home, it's absolutely vital that they go to the next level with it. The cross-contamination. Care homes go into lockdown on a regular basis because everyone's living in an enclosed environment, and so it's quite easy to transfer any problems that go from one resident to the other resident. So you've got to break that. You've got to break that infection, and it's just one of those situations where everyone's become much more aware of cleaning. Everybody is being so aware of social distancing. They're becoming much more aware of their personal hygiene.
So we're so much more aware of how important cleaning is now, aren't we?
Oh yes.
Yeah,
yes.
It's really highlighted that. You know, the flow-on effect of COVID-19, how has that impacted on, say, cleaning, maintenance and repair services that would usually be coming into the facilities?
It's become a huge problem. The guys that are going out to fix the machinery, for instance, just the cleaning machinery, can't go into hotspots and then go to other areas. And there's a lot of things that have got to be done. Dishwasher reports, I don't know if it's known, but every month a dishwasher report should go in for the correct temperature for the machine and all the rest of it. Laundries, the correct chemicals have got to be going through, otherwise there can be skin irritations, etc. But if they've worked in a hotspot, they can't go to another area. Every time we walk into an aged care facility, the first thing you do is you get the temperature check, and then you fill the form out to say, have you got the symptoms of a sore throat and all those kind of things. And the next question is, have you been to a hotspot? And if these guys have been to a hotspot, they're not allowed into the facility. They can't do this work.
So what's the solution then? What's the alternative at this time?
We've actually been through this with manufacturers and with other people that are doing the training, the maintenance side of it, and we're actually allocating people to just go to hotspots. Okay. That's all they're doing is hotspot work, and they just can't go anywhere else. It's unfortunate, but it's just another cost, another layer of costs that have actually been brought in.
Mm-hmm. And that's all necessary because we want to limit the spread of the infection, right?
Oh yeah. Absolutely vital to try and keep it down. And you can imagine, like temperature of in a kitchen. There's so much bacteria that can be floating around on the plates and everything to come back. That if the temperature's not right in the machine, the chemicals not being dispensed properly into the machine, we could be spreading the infection just through that dishwasher.
So there's so many little points that we have to consider, aren't there? How do organisations and staff, what are those key things they need to be considering during this time? There's obviously health and safety, PPE, cleaning processes. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, and one of the most vital things that we come across is that the staff themselves must be looking after themselves. They can't look after other people unless they're looking after themselves. So they must abide by all the PPE rules. Wearing gloves, face masks, taking face masks on and off correctly. If there's an outbreak, that they've got to be in the full coveralls and actually removing the things properly. They've got to protect themselves, because if they're not protected, how can they go and clean for other people? They can't do that work to try and maintain that level of cleanliness unless they're looking after themselves. So PPE, the health and safety, it's just vital that they look after themselves so that they can maintain the premises.
So care homes are under a lot of scrutiny at the moment. So what can organisations be doing to really ensuring that their approach to infection control is up to the right standard? And how does cleaning especially play into this?
It's changing daily. We've got to watch what the governments are coming up with, the WHO, everybody's coming up with new rules. If we start to look at cleaning, okay, a surface is dirty. There is cleaning and there is sanitising. They're two different aspects, so there's two parts to this equation. First, you've got to go in and clean that surface, get rid of any physical dirt, etc. from that surface. Secondly, you come back and you sanitise. You can't sanitise dirt. It doesn't work that way. You've got to remove it first and then you do the sanitising afterwards. So this is where this two-step approach comes into cleaning.
So again, we're seeing how important it is that those surfaces are cleaned, right? And that we've got those cleaning processes in place so that we're managing all of those touch points throughout the day in the care home.
It's one of those things we've got to keep at it. We just can't do it once and walk away and say, no, it's going to be right for the rest of the day. We've got to go back. We've got to keep repeating these processes. Imagine that someone's wiping a surface down with a cloth, and that cloth's been used in an area where there's COVID is active, and they've taken it to another area and used another area. This is where we get in with things like colour coding, etc. So we're not using stuff that's being used in, say, a kitchen area, being used in a bathroom area. That these things are being separated. Again, this comes back to training, that the staff know what colours are used in what area. Yeah. And it's a repetition job. Cleaning is a repetition job. It's you've got to go over and over and over and over because we keep making a mess.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about COVID-19 specifically, but if we move into more general cleaning processes, what are some of the techniques and equipment? How has that evolved over the years? You've talked a bit about microfiber, but what else has happened? And has the design in care homes also impacted on that?
Yeah. Oh, look, I'll give you a specific, a very basic one. Is floors. If we go back even 15 years ago, all the floors had polish on them, and every day someone would go in and they'd wash with a cotton mop. You had 9 litres of water sitting in a bucket. You then, after every room, would go, and particularly if you were doing a clean where you were stopping any cross-contamination going between rooms, you'd go and empty the bucket. So there goes 9 litres of water down the drain, there goes the chemical, there goes the lifting of the 9 kilos to 10 kilos to actually lift the thing up, and all that was going down the drain. So where we were using 9 litres of water per room, and that's if it was a vinyl area, for instance, 9 litres in the room, 9 litres in the bathroom, there's 18 litres of water that's being used just in that one area. And you'd wash the floor and then you'd buff it afterwards, and then every couple of months you'd strip it and seal it and put new polish down. All the new floors that have come out are all pre-sealed. They come out of the factory already sealed. So it's now a case of actually scrubbing the floor and not buffing it. We're using a matte finish on the floors. The floors are now being scrubbed on a very regular basis. We're using machines to scrub with. Microfiber mops, colour-coded, are used to do the outside of those particular areas. The microfiber is quite different. It's a gram of material that's stretched out, chopped up, and little tiny fibres. It's an abrasive type cleaning system. And with microfiber, you don't need anywhere near as much water. Now we could use a couple of 100 mil. They're in a container that's sitting on the mop, or we have what we call a pre-moistened system, so that the mops are actually moistened before they go out. So the change is phenomenal. So the environmental aspect of it is it's so much better to be using these new resources like the microfiber.
John, there's an origami folding method of using the microfiber cloth for touch point cleaning. Before we go, would you mind giving us a little demonstration?
Oh, Steph, this is the fun part. Okay, I've just happened to have a couple of cloths here that I can show you.
We're well prepared.
Yeah, we're well prepared. So, as you can imagine, the normal way of cleaning is you make a nice bunch, say you've got something, and away you go and you scrub. Okay, but you're only really using that surface. You're not using the cloth in its entirety. And I just think that if you're going in to clean a bathroom, you're cleaning from clean to dirty. So you start at the clean bit, which is the door handle or light switch, and you end to the at the dirty part, which is the toilet pan. That's going to be the dirty part of the bathroom. So you've gone in with a cloth to do the work, and it's just normal that you have a cloth. Let's look at what we can do if we fold it into quarters. we've now got 4 clean surfaces on each side of that cloth. Very simple. So we start off and we go in, and the surface number 1, we start with the door handle and maybe the light switch. And then we turn over and we come to the next bit, and we might head towards the basin, and we're going to do the taps and things with the basin. We're going to turn it inside out, which then gives us another 2 clean surfaces to be able to work with.
Yep.
So now we can wipe down the top of the basins and the bench, for instance. So we haven't stopped though, because we've now got the other side of the cloth where we can open it up, and we can go back to our quarters again, and we've now got another 4 clean surfaces. So you can see where we're heading. We're heading towards that toilet bowl, and by the time we're at the last surface, we're actually cleaning the dirtiest part of the bathroom, which is the toilet bowl.
Wow.
And we've had one cloth that's done all that work, and we've used a clean surface every time.
It's a handy tip. I might even use it at home. It's a good idea. John, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you for highlighting just the importance of the cleaners in the team, and we so often take them for granted. So thank you for just coming in today and sharing that with us.
Thank you, Steph. Thank you.
And we do really want to recognise the great job our care home cleaners and of course all care staff are doing, especially at this time, and we want to thank you. Please look out for infection control cleaning in the Altura Learning Library. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and engage with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. I'm Steph Lester, and thanks for joining us on Altura Now.